What up, YouTube? Welcome to the only channel where being a nice guy is not against the law or bad or, considered weird. And also that if you mistreat a nice guy, it's not going to be necessarily tolerated or appreciated. Okay? In this video, we're going to continue our discussion about how nice guys get into bad relationships. And we're specifically talking about types of women. And today I was thinking about a woman that, it's not necessarily a woman, but it may be a characteristic in a woman that you might see. And it's called, we're going to call her the divider. And there are two types of dividers. And one of them may be actually considered a protector, more so. But the protector is more so doing it in I'll say a positive way, as opposed to the divider, which does it in a negative way. Now, a divider is a woman who she basically wants all of your attention, and so what she does is she tries to cut off everybody else that has some type of influence in your life. And that includes potentially your friends. Like, she may not want you to go play basketball, go to the gym, do things basically without her. Also, she'll want to, a lot of times, she'll try to keep you away from your family, or she'll try to divide you and your family. And it's just... more so, I think it's just a large level of selfishness, because she wants all of your attention. But on the flip side of it, I think this type of woman also is really just controlling, because she wants to control who influences you, especially if that person doesn't necessarily like her. If they see her as a person that's manipulative, they may see her as somebody as controlling. They may see her as not good for your personality or for who you are. And they may actually voice that or show that they're voicing that to you. Or they could kind of just giving her the side eye, because they know what her game is. And the other side of this is that you may not necessarily be able to see this particular aspect in the woman. So sometimes when you're heavily into somebody you like, especially if you're physically attracted to them, or they just may know how to talk to people, you, or just men in general, actually anybody, can actually kind of fall under their spell, so to speak. So you may not necessarily be you may not actually see everything that she may be showing you as far as her negative characteristics. Because a lot of times we want to see, especially as a nice guy, you want to see the best in people. But the one of the negative parts of that, and it's not really a negative, it's just more or less an oversight, is that you still have to discern people and who they are, the type of person they are. Because who they are may actually conflict with who you are and your lifestyle, or different aspects of your lifestyle, such as your beliefs, especially if you're a Christian, things like that. So you have to be very, very mindful of women, especially nowadays, because you have women who are single mothers. You have women who are just modern women. You have women that are feminists. And they're really, in my opinion, they're women that are not really qualified for relationships with men, because they may have had hurt in their life. They may have had a lot of disappointment in their life. There's a lot of things that could go wrong with a person's life. But nowadays, people don't necessarily try to learn from their mistakes, or or learn how to deal with certain type of people, they just kind of shut down in a way. And a person who shuts down in a relationship, including yourself, depending on what the situation is, that's not necessarily a good thing. You should be able to have a person that you can come to with issues, talk to them, and then come up with a resolution. But a lot of times nowadays, you have people who think they're a 10, and so instead of coming up with a good resolution, what they'll say is that basically you're the problem. And you're the problem because you don't want to necessarily accept them for who they are. And that's a whole problem in itself, because, well, it's a problem in two ways. One, it hurts you because, you're actually telling them that it hurts you. But on the second side of it, if they're hurting someone and somebody tells them that they're hurting and they don't do anything to fix it, then they're actually not growing themselves. They're not learning from life. And potentially, if they run up on the wrong person, as a third situation, is they could be putting themselves in danger, because you don't know what your bad behavior can actually create in another person. And which is another societal issue, I think, nowadays too, is because people are more selfish, and so they don't necessarily realize how their interactions with people are actually causing more pain in the world. It's causing more confusion in the world. It's actually causing more hurt in the world. And hurt, confusion, and pain can lead to wars, arguments, and other things that are negative. Now, we as nice guys, a lot of times we try to look at the bright side of everything, look at things from a positive aspect, help people out, be there for people, love them even though they may not necessarily be the most lovable person. But at the same time, even if you're, trying to walk in the love of Christ, you got to make sure you know who you can pull close to you and know who you can't, because even though you are a Christian, even though you are trying to do the best things and trying to do the best for people, there's still someone going to be out there that's going to be out to hurt you for whatever reason. They could be out to hurt you just to prove you wrong, because you're supposed, the golden rule is not necessarily being taught nowadays. But there are people who, just because you're nice, just because you try to do good things to people, they want to prove that you're a liar. They want to prove that there's no such thing as a nice guy. And so those type of people in themselves, if they don't even believe in there's a such thing as nice people, that should be a warning or a red flag off the bat that they are not. And you should not be around them, or you should make sure you be on your guard around that particular type of person. But back to the story at hand, or the subject, talking about the divider. The divider is basically a controlling woman who doesn't want you to be influenced by other people, especially if they see a gold mine in you and they see how to exploit you. They don't want anybody to warn you about them. And so they'll try to keep you away from playing basketball. Sometimes it could be built on jealousy because they're afraid you're going to cheat on them. So they don't want you to go anywhere. They don't want you to be around anybody. They don't want you to be around any guys. They don't want you to be by yourself. But on the flip side of it, this same person is probably going to be rolling out, doing whatever they want to do at times. And sometimes they could just be the sneaky person. Other times they're just the totally insecure woman that doesn't trust anybody. She don't really trust you either. But she's just in a bad phase in her life, and that phase actually is going to be really annoying, get to be annoying to you, but it's also dangerous for you, because if you can't go to the gym, go to the store, you can't go anywhere because this person is so paranoid, then you're going to get out of shape. You're going to get probably going to get upset and annoyed with them, and it could potentially change your personality. And it's just not a good look. But on the other side, there's a person who's called a protector. And the protector type of woman, she is a good woman, and she actually cares for you. So if you have a family member, friend, another woman, that's trying to mess with you or do negative things towards you, the protector type of woman, she's actually going to try to protect you. She's going to say, hey, she's going to respect you for one, but she's also going to try to, get you to encourage you to stand up for yourself. She's going to be like, hey, that's not cool. Your family member is really abusing you. Your friend is abusing you. They're just trying to get money out of you. They're going to notice things in people that are actually going to be negative towards you or meant to directly hurt you. And so they're going to be very mindful of that. But, unlike the divider, the reason why they're doing it is because they actually do love you. And they do care for you, and they do really want to be there for you and see you succeed as much as possible. So if at all possible, you want to find a woman who really has a heart to protect you. Now that could come in two forms. One, it can come in a form of they're kind of like a big sister or a sister type of mentality where they love you. They're just not, they don't have that intimate love for you, but but they want to protect you, and so you kind of got to be careful of that. And if you feel one way, she does it, that's a really good friend for you. Now she's a really good friend for you, all right. But if you're doing the protecting and stuff like that, then you're a good friend for her, and maybe not vice versa. So just be mindful of that. But she would be a good friend. You could kind of keep her, in your friend zone. You basically be in each other's friend zone, unless you just can't handle, not being with that person. If that person is so, if you want that person so much that you can't stand to be around them, or you don't really need to be around somebody who's they love you, but they're going to reject you. So it's kind of like a weird dynamic. So it's better just to keep them as an acquaintance, but at a distance as well, But the protector, on the opposite side of it, is a woman that actually loves you. She cares for you. She's going to protect you as a man. She's going to make sure nobody tries to embarrass you. She's not going to embarrass you. She's actually going to be an asset, even if she doesn't, do any, physically anything directly to be an asset to you. Like, she's not going to necessarily. Well, this type of person, she probably would cook for you. You know what I mean? She'd probably be more of like a caring sister than a wife. So those type of women are very good women, and they will be good women as a friend, but they also be better women as wives as well. So they're just good all the way around, but they just might not be interested in you. So you just kind of got to keep that in mind. But those are the two, well, it's really two women, I guess you could say, in one. One is a positive and one is a negative, but one is based off of a selfishness, which is a divider, and the second one is based off of a heart to protect you because they actually have love for you, and she would be considered more of a protector, And that protector mentality in a woman is really something you want to look for in a wife, because if she's not really willing to protect your job, your reputation, you as a person, the family, how she appears, or how her actions may affect you, and she's not really going to be a good woman or a wife for you at all. So I would say look for a protector, but also be aware of somebody who's a divider, because they're going to try to separate you from things you like. They'll try to separate you from your family, friends. Potentially, there's going to be there's probably going to be a degree of separation between you two because she don't necessarily trust you. And she's really just not a good woman overall because, well, she might be good as far as like her heart, but because of her hurt, she's just not good for you or anybody else until she can get over that type of stuff. So, but that's what happens when nice guys retaliate. Remember, it's not a crime to be nice. It's actually encouraged. And just may be on the channel that you can get that. So, but you guys take care and keep going regardless. Take care.